guys, it is Tristan with nerdettes-newsstand, and I want to talk a little bit of the updates surrounding the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard post-trial shenanigans. That's what we're going to call them. Now, in case you are unfamiliar, there has been a bunch, and I mean a bunch of unsealed documents, and we're going to go through some of the most important ones here on the channel Thursday at 11 a.m. But I want to talk about a few in particular that we have seen that have been spreading around. Now, I want to save some of the grimmest details for Thursday as far as Amber Heard and her manslaughter charge from a while ago. Yeah, that's juicy. We're going to save that for Thursday. But today I want to talk about two certain situations. And that is one, the idea that Amber Heard stands, fans, supporters, whatever, are actually shaming Johnny for having erectile dysfunction. There's no way to really sugarcoat it other than just saying what it is. And that was one of the things that these documents, these unsealed documents, have now shown us. And honestly, it's a pretty crappy thing to shame somebody for having a medical condition like that. Not only that, but it has become pretty typical, especially, this is going to sound mean, but somebody at his age and that has also had a life of drugs and stuff, and even going through that time when they were together was on a lot of opiates. It's pretty typical. So I equate it to somebody very similarly shaming somebody because they have high blood pressure or are diabetic, right? It's a side effect of a life choice. You don't necessarily want it to happen, but it does. So I've seen a lot of that and it's pretty ridiculous. This one I really wanted to talk about though. This situation with Amber caused a lot of different stories. I think there was at least 3 or 4 different stories from Amber herself to kind of float around. And now we are seeing Jennifer Howell, who we've talked about before. We actually did a charity stream for her. Me and Dr. Soup, SEC, Stevie J. Raw, your boy Gary. There was a bunch of us. And Jennifer Howell has led to some information that necessarily wouldn't be out there. And she was actually pretty awesome about doing so. And that was, at one time, Whitney Heard, or Whitney Henriquez, boss. So this leads us to the finger situation. No, it goes back and forth, right? Depends on who you ask. Who severed Johnny's finger? Now, I think a lot of us know what happened in that situation and can take our logical ideas from the different people, from the different texts, from the different witnesses, and we can figure out at least to a decent degree what happened that day. We'll never know for sure. We weren't flies on the wall. But we actually have now in these unsealed documents, Amber Heard's sister's boss, or that told her boss that it was actually, Amber admitted to severing Johnny Depp's fingers. And this was not in, this was stuff that was in those 6,000 pages. Oh my goodness. Diving into them is kind of overwhelming. So that's why I said we can do it together. I'm going to make you guys suffer if I am suffering too. Okay. So basically what we have is these unsealed documents. If you remember Jennifer Howell from the trial, she was there briefly. There wasn't much, but there was, and yes, I'm going to blur that out. This is what she has said about the situation. So she just screamed. She's done it now. She cut off his goddamn finger and made this huge proclamation. And I pushed the chair back. I was like, what? How? This is how to Camille Vasquez. And she goes, she cut off his finger. She cut off his finger. It kind of sounds like panic maybe in the air, right? I think anybody would be panicking. And then she bolted out the door and was like, I got to call somebody. I got to call somebody. Again, kind of going with that whole, oh my God, what the hell is going on? We're all in a massive panic. My sister just cut off somebody's finger. I need to do something. She's a little bit loony. Yes, I added a little there, but you know what? That's okay. When Vasquez asked Howell if Henriquez specified who she and he were in the statements, Howell replied, it was Amber and Johnny, and she apparently had thrown a bottle and cut off his finger, is what Henriquez reported. Henriquez, as in Whitney Henriquez, that she came back in from whoever she was talking to outside. Goodness gracious. This is why I wonder why this wasn't permitted. But you know what? There are certain reasons and certain legal reasons why stuff are not in, or if they are. And this information is pretty big. This is kind of like telling, oh, how do I describe this? This is like telling people what they already know with a little bit more of a punch, right? We all already knew this. Yeah, it's a big deal to hear it from somebody who was directly working with Whitney, who was directly on the phone with Amber. It's a big deal. But you're not telling us anything new. We knew these things. We knew what had gone on. And we've been talking about it for years at this point, trying to make people realize that men can go through this too. That not only can women be victims, but men can too. And I actually thought it was really cool. I seen a video the other day of a UFC fighter actually talking about he had just talked to his friend the other night. The next day, he found out he had committed suicide. And he kind of comes out and he says, listen, it's okay. Talk to somebody. Let them hear what you're saying. Find somebody that will listen to you. Men go through this stuff just like women do. And it's hard on their psyche. And I thought it was really cool. And I don't know necessarily that it would directly inspire something like that, but it is very wonderful to see people standing up for themselves because of the inspiration they have received from such a main, huge case. If this case, if you weren't following it when it was going on, it was following you. There was no way to get around that. So I do think this is really pushing back on that. I do think that people are opening up and seeing that maybe we shouldn't always necessarily believe. Me and Bianca from Myself in Comics did a video. Did Amber Heard kill the Me Too era? Well, no, not really. It was kind of already dead. You can listen to all women. You can hear what they have to say. It's up to you, and it's up to evidence, and it's up to whether it's real evidence, circumstantial, what have you, to actually decide for yourself. And I hope people actually start deciding for themselves. Here's another great example of that. Let me know, of course, what you guys think. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.